When it comes to woodworking, it's easy to get excited about creating beautiful, functional pieces of art. But every seasoned woodworker knows that the road to flawless creations is paved with learning from mistakes. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced craftsman, knowing what mistakes to avoid can save you time, money, and frustration. In this video, we're going to walk through the top 5 woodworking mistakes to avoid if you want your projects to come out flawless every time. Mistake number 1. Not using the right tools for the job. One of the most common mistakes new woodworkers make is trying to get by with the wrong tools. It might be tempting to try and make do with what you have, but using subpar tools or attempting to perform a task with the wrong tool can lead to sloppy results, wasted materials, and even accidents. For instance, if you try to use a jigsaw instead of a table saw to make straight cuts, you'll likely end up with uneven edges. Similarly, using a dull chisel or saw can lead to rough, jagged cuts rather than the smooth finish you want. While it might take a little more investment up front, using the right tools will make your work more precise and enjoyable in the long run. Always take the time to assess your project needs and make sure you have the proper tools on hand. Mistake number 2. Ignoring wood grain and material selection. The grain of the wood plays a crucial role in the final appearance of your project. Ignoring wood grain and material selection can result in a product that looks inconsistent or even unattractive. For example, if you're making a tabletop and you use wood with wildly different grain patterns, the final piece might look mismatched or poorly crafted. Similarly, choosing the wrong type of wood for the project at hand can lead to challenges during the finishing process or, worse, project failure. When selecting your wood, consider the grain pattern, color, and overall texture. Try to choose materials that complement each other and that are suited to the specific project. For instance, hardwoods like oak or maple are excellent for furniture, while softwoods like pine are better suited for things like shelving or smaller projects. Take time to understand how your chosen wood behaves and how its grain will affect your cuts, joins, and finishes. Mistake number 3. Skipping proper measurements and layout. Measure twice, cut once. We've all heard this saying before, and for good reason. One of the biggest mistakes a woodworker can make is not measuring properly. A small mistake in measurements can throw off the entire project. Whether you're building a shelf, a chair, or a cabinet, accurate measurements are essential for ensuring that all the pieces fit together seamlessly. Take the time to carefully measure every piece of wood before you make any cuts. Double-check your measurements and use a square or a bevel gauge to ensure you're cutting at the correct angles. Using a marking knife instead of a pencil will help you create more precise lines. Even if you're just assembling a simple box, attention to detail in your measurements and layout will prevent mistakes that could cost you time and materials. Mistake number 4. Not considering wood movement. Wood is a natural material, and it's constantly expanding and contracting with changes in temperature and humidity. Ignoring the fact that wood moves can result in serious issues with your project, especially when it comes to joints and finishes. For example, if you create a frame and don't account for wood movement, the frame could warp or crack as the wood changes size over time. Similarly, gluing up boards without leaving expansion gaps can cause them to buckle or split. To avoid this, always account for wood movement during both the design and assembly stages. When gluing panels together, leave a small gap between them to allow for expansion. This will ensure that your project remains structurally sound and stable over time. It's also important to allow your wood to acclimate to your workspace for a few days before starting your project. This ensures that the wood is at the same moisture level as your shop and reduces the chances of warping after the work is completed. Mistake number 5. Neglecting the finishing process. The finishing process is often what separates a good woodworking project from a great one. Many woodworkers make the mistake of rushing through the finishing process or skipping it entirely. A poorly applied finish can detract from the beauty of the wood. An improper finishing can lead to rough surfaces or damaged wood. When finishing a piece, make sure to take your time. Sand the wood thoroughly, starting with a coarse grit and gradually moving to finer grits to achieve a smooth surface. Pay attention to the edges and corners, as these can be easily overlooked but can make a huge difference in the final result. Always test your finish on a scrap piece of wood before applying it to your project, as this will give you a good idea of how it will look and behave. Whether you're using stain, varnish, or oil, ensure that you apply even coats and allow adequate drying time between layers. Avoiding these top 5 woodworking mistakes will help you create flawless projects and build your skills as a woodworker. Remember, the key to success is not rushing the process, but paying attention to detail. Using the right tools, choosing the proper materials, measuring accurately, considering wood movement, and finishing with care will set you on the path to creating stunning pieces that you can be proud of. Keep practicing, learn from your mistakes, and soon enough, you'll be crafting woodworking masterpieces with ease. Happy woodworking!